Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Gardiner Museum. My name is Karen Sumis. I'm the senior curator here at the Gardiner. Before we begin tonight's program, I would like to start by sharing a land acknowledgement. The Gardiner Museum operates on the ancestral and traditional territories of the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. You may have noticed as you walked up the front stairs to the museum that you were welcomed by a beautiful fragmented clay vessel called Talking Earth. This work by Mohawk First Nation multidisciplinary artist Auntie Smith represents both the disruption and trauma of colonization, including the legacy of the residential school system. But it also symbolizes the opportunity for a restorative process of reassembling culture, memory, and ancestral knowledge. For the museum, it is an ever-present reminder of our commitment to reconciliation. As we are gathered here tonight, Talking Earth serves to remind us that we are all welcome here and that the Gardiner Museum is a space for everyone to share, learn, and create. Thank you for joining us tonight for the performance of Cueillir la chute, or Harvesting the Waterfall, which is presented as part of our International Ceramic Art Fair programming. And if you'd like more information about the rest of the programming, we have a brochure at the back, which you can pick up on your way out. This performance is led by Montreal-based artist Marie Côté, whose work is also featured in ICAF, in collaboration with Peter Morin, Tahltan First Nation artist and curator, Olivier Girouard, electro acoustician and composer, Navid Navab, multidisciplinary artist and composer, and percussionist Ziya Tabassian. Together, these artists will present a collaborative performance in 5 tableaux that blend visual and musical elements, harmonizing Marie Côté's singing bowls with breath, music, and all the while guiding us through a narrative of history and materiality. The performance will conclude with a hand talk in Plains Indian Sign Language, translated by Dr. Melanie McKay-Cody. As you will experience, clay is the cornerstone of this endeavor, bringing us together and emphasizing the interwoven tapestry of our experiences. Before we start the performance, I just have a few housekeeping notes. We kindly ask you to turn off or silence your phones. At the end of the performance, there will be a Q&A, and the exhibition hall, where you can visit the ICAF exhibition, will be open until 8 p.m. tonight. So now please join me in welcoming Marie Côté, who will provide an introduction to this great project.
Thank you very much for all being here. Thank you, Karine, Sama, Richard, Anthony, all of the technical team here, for enabling and encouraging this event. I also would like to mention that le Conseil des Arts et des Lettres du Québec also participated with funding for this project. And I will start by just saying thank you to my friends. They are all accomplished musicians, and they will perform for you tonight. And I would like to thank them for their talent and their generosity, their creativity, and their imagination. By layering and juxtaposing their art on mine and with mine, we together have created a plural space with multiplying points of view of our ability to come together. Karine have introduced my friends to you. So, Là où cueillir la chute, Harvesting the Waterfall, is about a field trip to the agricultural land of Olivier's father in Saint-Hyacinthe. That's very close to Montreal, where I live. Monsieur Girouard, who helped us to harvest the clay, explained to us that this clay is sedimentation that goes back to the presence of the Champlain Sea 10,000 years ago. This clay that was sourced on a very rich and generous farmland is amazing. I was able to throw with it quite easily. And somehow when I fired the clay, it had an incredible resonance. Something that I imagine has been echoing for the last 10,000 years. I've been sourcing clay, natural clay, since 2011, from the Nunavik to the Yukon, the Semiahmoo First Nation Reserve, from the shores of the St. Lawrence River, Each clay tells a story. It can be seen and heard. It's reminiscent of the territory, the landscape, and these communities. So I needed help from my friends, musicians and performers, to make it heard, to give it a sonic texture, and to make of it an audible experience as well as a visual one. So as Karen explained tonight, we will present the 5 tracks of the record we made together. And as she said, each tableau weaves together history, materiality, and the artist's engaging presence. It's been a long road to make it here, including the COVID pandemic and distance. But these challenges help to widen our perspectives and the horizons, inviting in the circle of people who can broaden our understanding and highlight sometimes distinct links. So I reached out to 2 very inspiring people. First of all, Melanie McKay-Cody, which I first saw in a video called The Hidden Story of Hand Talk, and also Dr. Daniel Richter, who is a soil specialist, which I saw in a documentary on clay. First, I will explain what fascinated me about Monsieur Richter's words, because I think what he was saying about clay stood to me as a scientific explanation to some of the assertions I came to believe after working for so long with mud. Mud and clay bring people together. They, the mud, the clay, and the people tell stories. And I had an email exchange with Monsieur Richter, and some of the things he told me are this: clays are many, varied in their particle size, their chemistry, their behavior, and their formation. They are highly reactive, chemically, physically, and biologically, and share this special reactivity with organic matter, humus, soil. So it does actually, clay does actually interact with whatever is around in the soil. I like to think it's the same when we gather to make pottery or simply use our nicest dishes to share a meal with friends and family. It has never been my goal to fundamentally transform the clay that I harvest, rather the opposite. What I bring to my studio, I let there and I leave the buckets there for a long time, just looking at it, trying out different things, and I've seen also vegetation grow into my buckets. But I find all sorts of things there, including small and various kinds of rocks, and what we can call stardust. Working with these particles, holding on to these particles and these various rocks, is like holding on to secrets, to knowledge, to music, and to friends. Monsieur Richter goes on to say, clays, unlike humus, have 2-dimensional structures and often exist as books with many pages or as single sheets. Of course, these pages and single sheets vary from one territory to the other, but they are there for us to discover, to understand, to touch, to listen to read. They are related, bound to what we make of life. And they gather stories, spoken, written, even signed. So as a final note, Mr. Richter said to me, a final point about clays, they come from where clay comes from. Many clays are said to be secondary. That is, they are formed from the transformation of the primary mineral of igneous and metamorphosed rocks on the surface of the earth in contact with the atmosphere and its oxygen. In other words, with life. So a simple lump of clay, of mud, holds the past and present of communities together. I pretty like that idea. So I'll let now Peter share with you how this hand talk became part of this project.
Thank you, Marie. It's such a privilege to be in this circle with such beautiful people, people I look up to. I'm so excited for this chance to offer our shared sounds again, and sing and have rhythms, and that power is very real. I'm also thinking about some folks like Dr. Melanie Côté, some folks who are also in the circle with us. So my offering to our record is a song written by our mother, Janelle Craig, or Janelle Morin. Our mother has lived with Alzheimer's now for 12 years, and one day she sang this song. And at the same time, like the day of, Marie and Ziya were saying to me, send us something for the record. And it was like our mom had made the song to send to us, So I want to honor and acknowledge that offering too. She's here in the circle with us. And as her life has been progressing with this, what we would call a disease, she's moved from depending on verbal language to eye contact, to hand gestures. And at the same time that she was doing this progression, or she was having this progression, Marie said, something in my gut told me that we should move Mom's song, track 5, into hand talk. At the same time, our mom was starting to mostly gesture and talk with her hands. And then we reached out to Dr. Melanie Côté, who helped us to understand what hand talk means and the history of hand talk. One of the things that she said, which was so beautifully powerful, was that we have American Sign Language, ASL, which is something that is so important. And she said 80% of American Sign Language right now has its roots in Indian hand talk. It's very, very important to know that. And without Marie's gut and Dr. Melanie Côté's skill, and our moms also teaching me and us, we wouldn't have come in closer to that very particular knowledge. The other folks, there's 2 other folks who are also in the circle with us, because at one point it made sense to move the English words that our mom spoke into our Tahltan language. So I'll also be singing that. We will be singing that together. And those language warriors are Lux Ushe, who's our family member, and Adonama, who is also our family member. They moved the English into our language, and then we, with great support from Dr. Melanie Côté, we moved that Tahltan language into hand talk.
Au commencement, il n'y avait rien, rien que de l'eau.
Ziya, Ziya, I miss you already. I wish you were coming home. I wish you were coming home. Marie, Marie, I miss you already. I wish you were coming home. I wish you were coming home. Olivier, Olivier, I miss you already. I wish you were coming home. I wish you were coming home. Navid Navab, I miss you already. I wish you were coming home. I wish you were coming home. Atuda, Atuda, I miss you already. Wish you were coming home. I wish you were coming home. Atuda, Atuda, got in Dagidulu, I miss you already. Wish you were coming home. I wish you were coming home. Atuda, Atuda, God in Dagidulu, Tulin Kemakandinda, Tulin Kemakandinda, Duda, Duda. Atuda, Atuda, miss you already. Dulin Kemaklandin da, Dulin Kemaklandin da. Atuda, Atuda, kat in Dagedulu iye. Dulin Kemaklandin da, Dulin Kemaklandin da. Azuta, Azuta, kat in Dagedulu iye. Dulin Kemaklandin da, Dulin Kemaklandin da.